in my opinion, Senegal parrots might be the best pet parrot, okay? And like, I am biased, obviously, because I haven't owned a lot. I've only researched and watched stuff and heard from people that I know. I've helped train some, whatever. So full disclaimer there. But Tansy I got when she was 16, and, you know, the usual stuff they knew 19 years ago was that all-seed diet, not proper sleep, too small of cage, all those things. And yet, she has been an amazing bird despite all of that. So here's some ways. One, super quiet. Well, okay, she's a bird. She's a parrot. So quiet is relative. But what I mean by that is she can make this horrible shrieking noise, but it's so infrequent that it's really not that bothersome compared to like my green cheek conure or a cockatoo that I worked with or a macaw that I worked with. And then even a cockatiel will chatter a lot. You're coming down. Hi. Tansy specifically is very much a lovey bird. So anytime she'd love like head scratches and stuff, only for me, she hates strangers so much, which is fine. We're working on it. But that's her specific. Obviously, Senegal parrots all have different temperaments. She wants this. That's why she's being kind of a brat. You want to spin? You want to show them what we're working on? Good. She's super smart. You've probably seen videos online of, you know, Senegal parrots that know a ton of tricks. I want you up here. Versus her, where we've mostly worked on things like socialization, scream training, different mimicking words. Oh, that's another thing. She can say peekaboo, baby, love you, meow, and she whistles different tunes. Now, while it's not typical for a Senegal parrot, especially a female, to know that many words, it is possible. Whereas my green cheek only knows peekaboo, which she learned from her. And also the green cheek screams all the time. Well, not right now, but I digress. Another nice thing is her size. So you probably saw earlier when I was holding her, she's like smaller than a medium-sized parrot, but bigger than like a tiny parrot. And that's perfect because people are more confident around her, including me, because like first parrot, I needed something without a huge beak. But it's big enough that you feel kind of like it's sturdy, you know, like around kids it can hold its own. Oh, we're dog sitting, so if you can hear barking in the background, that's what that is. That's Dara. Another nice thing is that they're beautiful, obviously. Now, when I wanted to get a second parrot, the one that I actually wanted was a Myers parrot, which is a poicephalus, just like the Senegal. That's how much I love this bird. I wanted basically another one in a different color. Obviously, there's other differences, research it, but they're basically the same bird. They're amazing. Intelligent, quiet, content, easy to train. They engage, they can talk, which everyone asks, can they talk? Yes, they can talk, but they're not the most talkative. They tend to be calmer. So like with Tilly, her name used to be Twig. It's Tilly now. Just get used to it. My green cheek, she's, you know, we've had to learn to station. So for her to be able to stay right there, which she's not doing a good job because I have treats out and she's very food motivated. But I had to teach stationing where she could like learn to just sort of chill next to me. Whereas with Tansy, she's naturally a more relaxed bird. So she's going to just sort of vibe. Meow. Oh, do you want to hear her talk? Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Yeah, good meow. Screaming in the background. So another way that Senegal parrots are awesome is, let's see. Man, there's so many ways. They're very, okay, I say this cautiously, but they're a little bit more tolerant of the cold and heat than some other species. I forget the exact range, but I know that they're just a little bit more tolerant than the green cheek conure. Obviously because, you know, they're smaller and stuff. So that's been really nice. And they're great flyers. Okay, that's kind of true. So the kind of bulkier bodied birds, they do struggle to fly more than ones that typically have longer tails, skinnier bodies. Oh, she's about to get hormonal here, guys. We're gonna have to wrap this up in a second. Yeah, I know, honey. It's a practiced behavior. She grew up not on the best circumstances. Being hormonal is just practice, and it's spring. It's like, oh my gosh. So I'm gonna wrap this up before she loses it. But They're just great birds overall. I recommend them. Like anytime somebody's like, oh, do you recommend parrots as pets? I'm like, no. For most people, I do not recommend parrots as pets. I love them. I wanted a second one. Don't recommend. But if I was going to, it would be a poicephalus of some kind. So like red-bellied Myers, Senegal. They're fantastic. And I am biased. So what I would recommend, because I've like heard, and she is one of them where she's not used to strangers, so she can get aggressive. But I've heard of people who are like, my Senegal tries to kill everybody it meets, including me, whatever. So anyone who owns a Senegal, I would be really curious what you think of them. So comment that below. And if you disagree with everything I've said, then maybe like, well, no, because we can't see our dislikes anymore, so that won't help people judge. I guess that won't do. But yeah, I definitely recommend the Senegal if you're thinking of getting one. They're going to be one of the best parrots that you can have. Great for apartments if you live in an apartment. But keep in mind, they live a long, long time. So one good idea is to rescue. Because if I got a baby right now, I would be 75 by the time it passed, assuming that it lives its full lifespan. So I got her, she's almost 20 now, so I'll be about 45, which is more manageable for me because I don't know where I'm going to be at when I'm 75. So if you, I do recommend rescuing. They're just fantastic birds, and they're not too expensive. I mean, okay, it's a parrot, it's expensive, it's not a budgie. But compared to some of the other species I was looking at, they're pretty reasonable, even compared to the Myers. And they're a lot more accessible. Nope, nope, absolutely not. Get up there. Good girl. Now, one thing I'm going to do pretty soon here is I'm going to do an average day in the life of owning a Senegal so you guys can see exactly what it's like, and I'll do the same with a green cheek conure, because sometimes you can hear people talk about it, but until you see it in practice, see how their brains work, what they're like when they first get up different things, then that can definitely change. So I'll make that next. You're so cute. But until then, have fun with your birds, guys, and definitely I recommend this guy.